There is a story told in 1,000 different voices across cultures, centuries, and continents. A tale whispered in the dark when the moon is high and the wind runs wild. It begins not with a howl, but with a man. A man who changes, a man who becomes something else. They call him the werewolf. But the true terror of the werewolf isn't just in the claws or the teeth. It's the idea that inside every man, beneath the skin, something wild waits. Long before Hollywood turned the werewolf into a silver screen monster, ancient civilizations already feared the shapeshifter. In Greek legend, there was King Lycaon of Arcadia. He served Zeus human flesh to test his omniscience. As punishment, the god cursed him to become a wolf, a beast to match his savagery. The term lycanthropy still echoes his name. It means transformation into a wolf, but also madness. In Roman and Nordic tales, warriors wore wolf pelts, believing they could channel the strength and rage of the beast. The line between ritual and reality blurred. In early Christian Europe, stories told of cursed men who became wolves under the full moon, not by choice, but by sin. In the Middle Ages, belief in werewolves was not myth, it was law. Across France and Germany, courts tried dozens of men and women accused of lycanthropy. Some confessed under torture to roaming the woods at night and devouring livestock or children. One such case, Peter Stump of 16th century Germany, was said to have made a deal with the devil. He wore a magic belt that transformed him into a wolf. His crimes were brutal. His execution, legendary. Werewolves were not just feared, they were hunted. And beneath those fears were real anxieties about isolation, rural violence, and mental illness. But what if the werewolf legend isn't about the moon at all? Modern psychology offers another theory, that lycanthropy is a metaphor for what we hide: dissociative identity disorder, rage blackouts, the terror of losing control. Some medical texts describe clinical lycanthropy, a rare delusion where individuals believe they are transforming into animals. In these cases, the wolf is not outside you, it is you. Could the legends have been early attempts to explain behavior we didn't understand? Or were they warnings? While the werewolf is rooted in Europe, shapeshifters haunt many cultures. In Navajo lore, the skinwalker is a person who wears the skin of a beast to become it. Not cursed, but powerful and feared. In Japanese tales, the okami is a wolf spirit, both protector and punisher. It watches from the shadows and avenges dishonor. In parts of Africa, tales speak of men turning into hyenas. In the Philippines, the aswang appears human by day and transforms into a monstrous predator by night. The idea that the human form is just a mask, that something else stirs beneath, is a global fear, perhaps even a truth. Why does the full moon always return in these stories? Science shows us the moon affects tides, animal behavior, even sleep patterns. But myths go deeper. The full moon is a mirror. It reveals, it unleashes. In folklore, it signals the time when what we try to control can no longer be held back. The werewolf doesn't choose the night chooses him. It is not freedom, it is surrender. Ironically, those we call monsters were often victims. Witch hunts, fear-driven trials, social scapegoats, all fed the werewolf myth. Those with deformities, illness, or simply strange behavior became targets. The more society feared what it could not explain, the more monsters it created. Sometimes the real beast is the mob. Not all werewolf stories are about horror. In some cultures, the wolfman is tragic. Cursed by love, fated to harm those he wants to protect, he runs from society not to hunt, but to avoid hurting what he loves. These are the stories of internal battles, of men who chain themselves on full moons, who beg to be locked away, not villains, victims of a war inside their skin. Perhaps the werewolf is not a killer. Perhaps he is a warning. We still talk about werewolves, but now they're in books, movies, video games, but the core idea remains unchanged. That something powerful, wild, and dangerous lives just beneath our surface. That when pushed, even the gentlest soul might become something else. Why do we keep this legend alive? Because it feels true. There's a story from a village in the Carpathians. They say there's a man who walks the woods, barefoot in winter. No one dares follow him. not because he kills, but because he disappears. And if you wait in the trees, you might hear it. The crack of bone, the stretch of skin, and then nothing but silence. Maybe it's just a tale, or maybe it's a reminder we are not so far from the wild as we pretend to be. The werewolf is not just a monster, it's a mirror. It reflects our fear of losing control, our guilt, our rage. It is the story of man versus self, civilization versus instinct. And perhaps that's why it endures. Because no matter how far we evolve, part of us still howls. So what do you think? Are werewolves just ancient fiction or echoes of something we still carry? Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. And if you believe the legend still walks among us, subscribe to the Myth Archive. A new tale rises tomorrow, because every myth begins with a heartbeat.